Hi everyone, I wanted to do a little video today on what is an essential piece of kit, which is a pocket knife. I've gone through a phase of collecting these, so just grabbed out a very small selection of those that I have collected over the years to give you a little review on, give you some ideas, and hopefully help you make a decision if you're in the market to buy one stroke buy a new one. Okay, now as you can imagine, there are a number of laws concerning the ownership and carrying of knives, so I would suggest always checking these out with age restrictions, size restrictions, obviously where you can carry them, what you can carry them for, and the like. I think anyone that's half sensible is probably not going to go into the shopping centre with a huge knife strapped to their belt, but as always, just make sure you are careful with the legalities of it. Right, so there are loads of different styles of pocket knife and obviously uses for. I've got mine almost arranged in date of ownership. So the one on the bottom, the little brass and wooden handled lock knife, I've had for a number of years, which I bought in a fishing tackle shop. The one up was very much an impulse purchase because I like the look of it. It's possibly the worst knife I've ever owned. Then we've got the classic multi-tool, which is a Leatherman, which I've done another video on, so anyone who wants more information on that, have a look on the Paul's Country channel page, and there's a full video on the Leatherman review. The red-handled one is a recent purchase from China, which is actually a really good little knife, so we'll go into a little bit more detail on that one. And then the knife on the top is another classic, a French Opinel lock knife. So knife design, obviously the blades have remained very much the same, although there are a few different styles, but say this one is 20 plus years old. Picked it up very cheaply in a fishing tackle shop. To be brutally honest with you, it's not a particularly good knife. The blade, whilst it can get sharp, does take a huge amount of effort to get sharp, and it's not something I'd actually use on a daily basis. I say these seem to be around a lot, but I haven't seen one for some time in this style. So it's just a typical little lock knife. The lock is there, which drops the blade down, and obviously it folds into one. And to open, again, obviously I've used it a while, so we can do it one-handed. But that just locks when it goes to the top. So whilst I really like the look of the knife, it's actually probably not that great for everyday use. Right, so the second knife we're going to have a look at today is almost a warning of not being carried away by something that you really like the look of, which isn't very practical. So I bought this in a shooting shop. Again, obviously it's a slightly older knife now, so it's a little discoloured, but I've tried to use it as well, but just really like the look of it at the time. Obviously quite shiny, and these sort of things always catch my eye. The actual blade itself is again similar to the previous knife, with a lock at the bottom there, which locks into place when the blade opens, but the blade itself I've never been able to sharpen. The shape of it is pretty much useful for anything, useless should I say, for anything, and as I say, I've just never been able to put an edge on that. So always beware when you are buying them, and don't always just go for the shiny object, and actually just do check it and make sure it's usable and for what you want to use it for. Right, so then coming on to the Leatherman Super Tool, which is another knife I've had for a long time. The more modern Leathermans have got a more skeletal handle, but obviously still the same use of tools. Really useful tool. We use this pretty much daily for things. It's kind of my go-to screwdriver and the like, so it's just kept there for everything we need. However, to sort of use on a daily basis, if I was just going out to cut a piece of string or something, I'd probably go for something a little bit smaller and sleeker, which we'll come on to in a moment. But if you are looking for a multi-tool, I would strongly suggest having a look at the Leatherman range. Right, so we've then got a nice cheap and cheerful little knife that I've ordered in mail order from online. Again, it's the more modern sort of skeleton style handle. It's actually a really good size. The blade itself is only about 2 and a bit inches. Obviously this one is in a matte black blade, just for aesthetics more than anything else. Again, similar to the other two, it's a simple locking mechanism with the lock there, and the blade obviously folding in and sort of clipping into lock from that position there. It's actually really easy to sharpen, and it only costs about £3 or £4, so it's actually a really good little knife, and obviously you can find these online if you're looking for something similar. Again, the multi range of colours, but the red one really stood out for me with the black blade. But a really handy little knife, just for sort of everyday usage in the garden, or as I've said, if you just need to go and cut something, it's perfect. And last but not least, my very favourite range of knives, which is a French range, which is Opinel or Opinel, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Had a number of these over the years, and they are really just the perfect knife for sort of everyday use. I think it's a carbon steel blade, so they're very, very easy to sharpen, and the actual lock-in mechanism on these is slightly different. There's this little twist here, so we'll go into a bit more detail on how it locks and unlocks. So to lock the blade, very, very simply, pull the blade out to the full and twist that, and it locks it into place. And then obviously to unlock, we twist again. This is one of the larger models, but there's a huge range of these, varying in size, I think from 1 inch up to about a 12-inch blade. And as I say, I've had a number of these over the years, and they've literally never let me down. So the handle on this particular opener is the perfect size for my hand as well. I'm saying the lock-in mechanism actually makes it really, really safe to use. So I must say, of all the knives I've owned, Opinels are probably going to be my favourite, and I will always make sure I've got a number of these within the collection that I can go to. As I mentioned, the blade is just remarkably easy to sharpen as well, and they're actually really, really good value. I think this particular one, so it's one of the larger models, was about 10 quid off of Amazon, so a really, really good knife. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I say if you are in the market for a new pocket knife, I would suggest the Opinel. Obviously Multi-Tools, Leathermans are certainly my favourite. But I say I've had a lot of fun over the years collecting different types of knives. Just to mention again, they do need to be really careful on that law, and obviously only use them for the purposes which they're meant for. So hope you enjoyed the video, and please drop any comments if you want any more suggestions. Cheers.